And I'm just going to layer that right like this. Now you do need your clamp because you want to make sure that that gets down. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use two, one on one side or your binder clip, and one on the other side. And I'm going to make sure those are pretty good. And that's going to do is it's going to glue it down not only to the drips, but it's going to glue it down to the lace, and that will stop your drips from wanting to flip up. The glue on paper and lace sticks really well. For the It's a Boy, whoops, my thing keeps falling off. I'm trying to get this here so it's propped up. For the It's a Boy, the same thing. I'm going to put these down, but I'm not going to glue them until I can find. And I'm going to go with the lighter one first, and then the darker one will go like that until I can get my drips down there. Okay, if you're working with It's a Boy, let's apply some glue to the back of the white little tag. And let's mount that, center it onto this. Okay, get that all ready. We have these. Okay, before we place down our die cut tags, if you're die cutting, let's get into our Berry Blossoms die and matching stamp. The first thing that we're going to want to do is there is a die plate in there that looks like this. We're going to just die cut straight onto white cardstock. And once you do that, we are going to add our ink to it. And all I did with this was add the olive grove, the darker green, around the edges. Then I swiped on pistachio, and then I finished it off with the pear tart. And this is just going to lay right like this. And I'm going to get one more ready to go because I do have to do this side. So I'm just going to show you what we need to do to start. If you are not die cutting and you're not using some sort of leafy type border, this is actually supposed to be not supposed to be a leaf. I use it as it, and it works excellent. You'll just wait here just a moment until we can get our pieces together, and then we'll start laying our flowers together if you're using packaged. Okay, for the It's a Boy, you will want to get your stamp set out. Okay, and what I did was this, and I'm going to show you. You're going to need one full set of your flowers. And as you can see, they're either blue with the yellow center or they're either yellow with the blue center. And I'm going to show you how I did it to make it super easy. Same thing with It's a Girls album. And I'll show you how to achieve that as well. Same thing. We've got pink and yellow flowers here. And it's one full set. Whoops, missing one. So I'm going to push this off to the side really quick, and I'm going to show you how I achieved this really simple. You'll need, for the It's a Girl, Angel Pink, and you'll need your yellow or dandelion, which I'm using. For the It's a Boy, you're going to need Summer Sky and dandelion. Summer Sky is a light blue. Okay, let's start with the blue, Summer Sky. All you're going to do is apply the ink to all the flowers. The next thing that I did was I took the corner of my dandelion, yellow, and carefully tried to get it in the middle of each flower. Now it is going to get off on some, and it actually made the flower that much more cooler. So I used the ink on the center, and this might be too bumpy but let me see. And I'm just going to press. And that's what you're going to get. And that's exactly what I got. And I'll show you how to color them. Let me clean this, and we will do the one for the girl. Here we go. Angel Pink all over. Now Angel Pink is a light pink, so I'm going to make sure I get some good color on there. And the same technique, the corner of the ink pad, and just try to get it in the center. And when you don't get it quite in the center, it does the same thing like this, and it actually creates a really pretty flower. So even if you're trying to get straight in the middle. All right. There we go. Place your die plates over your flowers, run it through your die cutter. Okay, I have all my flowers die cut. One set is for the blue, one set is for the pink. I'm going to show you something really easy that can help you divide out how many are blue. You're going to have 5 blue. The flowers that came out of the bigger frame, that's going to be all blue. The flowers that you punched out of the small one, those are going to be all yellow. And the same thing for the pink. All the pink flowers will end up being here, so set the flowers that are from this frame aside in one row. And then here is for the yellow ones, and those are the bottom row. That's the easiest way to tell you. And we'll be using all of them. If you are not die cutting or inking your flowers and you are not interested in this part, you could care less. Fast forward and let's get to the laying them out part. Okay, the pink, the largest pink. This is what I've done, and I can't tell if you are able to see or not. But this is the cutting on a different sheet of paper. Let's say I said to measure over 6 inches and you actually measured over 5 inches. Instead of measuring over again to correct yourself, you're going to grab this sheet of paper. Because if you were to, for instance, cut it at 5 inch and then you're trying to correct yourself and cut it, 6 inch over, I may be using that extra part of that one sheet. So this is your emergency sheet for the It's a Girl. You're going to stick this away from your reserve pile so you don't accidentally grab it. For the It's a Boy, this sheet. This is adorable. Same thing. So emergency sheets off to the side. And guess what? I will be making the It's a Boy along with the It's a Girl. I'm going to attempt to do it, and there's a reason why. I was hoping I wouldn't have to do 2 at once because it's very difficult to do, especially with space and trying to keep a reserve here, and a reserve, several piles for each one of the prints. But the reason why I'm going to be doing it each one is because, for instance, in the It's a Girl for page 1 and page 2, we're going to cut the base sheets out together to save us time. If you were to flip this over, it's white. The matching print to the It's a Girl is this one. You flip it over and guess what? You've got print versus no print. So I am not off the hook. And so what we're going to do for the It's a Girl, page 1, and we're going to cut for page 2, grab 2 sheets. And for the It's a Boy, you're going to grab 2 of these. Again, it has the polka dots on the back. I'm going to make this real easy. Okay, on these sheets, we're going to have the same identical cuts. I'm going to do mine all at once. We are going to measure over 7 inches and cut. These pieces stick in your reserves. And one reserve pile one way for me and the other way. Okay. I'm going to put mine all together. We're going to measure over 7 inches and cut. Okay, put these in your reserves, a smaller piece for It's a Boy. For the It's a Girl, these 2 small pieces go in our reserve. Okay, pull one of your pages. So I'm going to pull one of these and one of these. This is for our base page for page 2. Let's set these off to the side, not in our reserves because we don't want to accidentally grab into them. Just stick them off to the side. Oh, this is going to be interesting for me. Okay, so when we're looking at it, I'm going to try to keep all the It's a Boy stuff off to the left and the It's a Girl off to the right. So here's our page 1, and we are going to begin. Grab a piece of cardstock, and I'm 8.5 inches wide and 11 inches tall. Measure over to 7 inches and cut. Grab your scoreboard. We are 11 inches across. At 5.25 inches, you're going to score. And at 5.75 inches, we're going to score. All right. Let's go ahead and fold on our score lines. Okay, so because I'm making this as I go, I pretty much know what I want to do. I may have you turn back to add something. So make 2 bows, pink and blue. Grab a flat back pearl and glue it down to the center of your bow. On the spine of the It's a Girl, grab your bow, add some glue. I'm using hot glue because it's quick, and we're going to put that right there. It needed a little something. There we go. On the It's a Boy, we're going to do the same thing. Stick it right there. Okay. Let's move on to what we were working on. Let's grab another piece of cardstock, measure over 7 inches and cut. Measure over 10.75 inches and cut. We are 10.75 inches across the sheet or the board. At 5.25 inches, we're going to score, and at 5.5 inches, we're going to score. That should give me 5.25 and 5.25. Let's go ahead and fold on our score lines. Okay. What we're going to do is set these off to the side for now. You can put these with page 2 to keep them off out of our way. We'll grab at those in a moment. Let's find our paper. It's a Girl paper pad, you'll pull this one. In the It's a Boy, you'll pull this one. Now on this It's a Girl sheet, you're going to want it so the green octagon is up here, and then the yellow flower when we cut. So it's going to look like this. For the It's a Boy, you'll just be looking at it like this. Okay. Measure over 4 7/8 inches and cut. These larger sheets go in our reserves. Okay. We are going to measure over 6 5/8 inches and cut. The smaller pieces go in our reserves. So what we're going to have here is a piece that is going to fit nicely, leaving a white border around the edges of this. And I'm going to open mine up. And we are going to center it on here. So let's go ahead and apply our glue. Now when centering this, you're going to watch where that score line is. For example, the score line is right here, so I am going to, between this score line and the outside, that's how I'm going to center it. And of course, we're going to do it on this one too. So let's do in reserves, you will have these sheets. It's a Boy, It's a Girl. Measure over 6 3/4 inches and cut. These go in reserves. Alrighty. We're just going to flip that open, making sure that this is on the side. And we are just going to center and glue that down on both of these. In the It's a Girl Reserves, you will grab the 6x6 panel that looks like this, and also the shorter polka dot scrap piece. In the It's a Boy, you have this, it's a 6x6, and you have the shorter blue polka dot. On these, what we're going to do is we're going to measure over 5 inches and cut on these. These go back in our reserves. On these, measure over 5 inches and cut. Okay, these should be 2 inches wide. On these, what we're going to do is divide them in half, so measure over 1 inch and cut. Grab your Martha Stewart 1/2 inch punch, and we are going to punch this. And on all of these, you're just going to punch across the long side. And that. Okay, here we go. Get my pieces together here. You are going to center this. You will have a little bit of white on each side, and then you will have larger spaces up here. So glue that down once you got that centered. Same for the It's a Girl. And glue that down. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, here's the pieces for the It's a Boy, and here's for the It's a Girl. All we are going to do is put some glue on the underside here on the sides, and we're going to run some glue along the edge there. We're going to bring that up here, make it as even as we can, press it down, and for this we will do the same thing. So you do have an opportunity on this one to slide something back behind. Just make sure that you push that down really good there. Let's go ahead and flip ours over, and we'll find the sheep for the back there. In the It's a Boy, you will find this sheet on it's the birds. On the back, it looks like this. In the It's a Girl, you'll find the butterflies, and on the back, it looks like that. I'm going to double mine up because it's the same cut. Measure over 5 inches and cut. The larger pieces go in our reserves. Measure over. We're going to go 6 3/4 of an inch and cut. The smaller pieces go in our reserves. Okay, we're going to work with these. Just set these off to the side, our little mini bookies. In your reserves, you should have in your white cardstock a piece that is 3 3/4 of an inch by 8 1/2 inch. So let's go ahead and locate that so we can use it up. And I have one for each of mine here. I'm going to be getting into the Spellbinders, and this is the curved borders too. And it's the S5201. Those of you that are not going to be die cutting, you will use your deep edge punch. The two die plates that I'm going to use is this one and this one. So this is what you want to do. I'm going to put one off to the side here. All you're going to do is place this bracket at the very top of your page. You're going to make sure that you are centered even from side to side, and also even from here up and from here up, as even as you can at least. And we're just going to, once we got that all centered, we're going to run that through the die cutter. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, and this is what I do so I get a straight cut from side to side. I'm going to put this on my paper cutter, and I am going to cut from this edge here of the die cut straight down this way, and then from here on up. And that will release this top portion. Let's grab our score tape, and we are going to place it at the bottom of our panel. Let's go ahead and remove that score tape backing. And all we're going to do with this is we are going to center and bring it all the way down, get it as centered as you can, to the bottom. And then we are going to press from the middle out. And then we're going to flip this over, and we are going to wrap these flaps around the back. What we just did was to create a pocket. And this is where I like to use my hot glue for a quick tacking. And my glue is not working. For quick tacking. And of course, if you're working on It's a Girl, it's the same thing. In the reserves, you will find this sheet for the It's a Girl and this one for It's a Boy. Flip them on over. Okay, what we're going to do is, since some of us are using the deep edge punch, some of us may be using a trim piece that goes straight. Maybe you're not using what I'm using. I'm going to make sure we all get the same cuts here and have the same leftovers. So we're going to do this a little easier. I want you to flip it over this way so you can actually see what print is on there. Okay, so if you're looking at it this way, what I would like you to do is measure over 3 inches and cut. Put these back in reserves. Now, we're going to start off with something a little bit taller. Those of you that are using the Martha Stewart Deep Edge Punch, what you're going to want to do is place this underneath your trim, and you are going to pencil, with your pencil, make a mark and trim to fit. The rest of us that have the other type of trims, we are going to do, like for instance this, we need to get our piece that allows us to cut that hump. In your curved borders too, you will find a bracket that just has a line like that. We're going to center that, bring that all the way to the top, making sure we are even again, side from here up and here up, side to side, and we're going to run that through our die cutter. I think you can see that. Put your trimmings in your reserves. Okay. So all we're going to do is the same thing that I just instructed them. Place this down, and it should fit for us perfect without having any trimming of the bottom. But we do need to trim the sides. So just kind of look where the edge of your page is on each side here and trim it to fit. Let's get our glue, and let's glue down our pieces to the front of our pockets. This is where we should all be now, having that down. Okay, open this up. We have 1 page left on the It's a Girl. It's this piece. Let's glue that down. On the It's a Boy, it's this piece. Let's glue that down too. So once you have it down, always make sure that you press down everything so that it does stick really good. And always stay clear of your score lines. Okay, so once we open this up, it should look like this. Okay, set that off to the side. We're going to set this one off to the side. Let's grab out the ones I had you set off with the page 2. These are the ones that only have the 1/4 inch spacing on it. These are the 1/2 inch. So some of you may already have guessed what's going to be happening here after a while. This is actually going to go right on into the spine shortly. but we do have some work before we get there. Alrighty, so it's a girl, it's a boy, let's start. Just so you know, the spine, we are looking at it, and the spine of this is off to the left, off these, so that when you open it, it's opening like a book.